Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world with me, Rufus, and he's wearing a black and white stripy jumper. Ooh. He's carrying a bag with swag on it, and he's got a black mask on that doesn't conceal anything except the bit around his eyeballs. It's
Howard Long! Hooray!
Coming in your house and stealing your money.
Thank you.
Thank you to the British Comedy Guide for hosting this show. Thanks to all of our lovely patrons on Patreon for supporting this show, and thanks to you for listening quietly to this show and never mentioning it to anyone. Thanks for keeping it a secret. It'd be awful if you told people that it was good and got them to listen as well. I'd hate that.
Yeah, or I think it's about time that you harassed people in the street, went up to them, so shove them, say, listen to this.
Holding up your phone with the artwork on it. Yeah,
because nothing else has worked, you know.
None of your other not telling people, never mentioning it, and never telling anyone you're listening to it. That hasn't worked. So the only other possibility is yelling at strangers in the street. Or, second idea, you could just, I don't know, post about it on your social media or tell people you actually care about who you think might like it.
Yeah, that's it.
So, Howard, I don't know what we're doing this week. What are we reading? Have we got a short story by Howard? Are we starting a long story by Howard? What's the deal this week?
What a very good question, Rufus. And I have an answer right here in my mouth. I'm doing what I would do. Just buying some time there. I decided that it's time we heard more from you, because I don't think that do enough. Doing all the reading, doing all the voices, doing all the editing, so I figured that you should start writing the show as well.
Haven't I done that loads of times though?
Yeah, no, but it's been really good. And so this week I'm going to give you a brand new challenge.
Oh no! Yeah. Oh dear! What's the challenge?
Well, in the past we've written the detective genre with Gret Benchleaf.
Yeah. But arguably not a detective story.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That is the problem with
it,
is it's always going into space and traveling through time. Yeah, but it's not.
Best thing about it, yeah.
Yeah, it is great, but it's a lie, isn't it? It's a big whopping lie. And so
stories are. Rapunzel didn't have a brother called Rampion. No, that's not real.
All true. The Grimm brothers drove around, went to visit Mrs. Fox, and said cheeses. That happened.
All right, so I'm getting the idea you're going to challenge me to write a detective story. That's not something I already do all the time.
Yeah, but I want you to concentrate on crime. I want you to write about crime, because Gret Benchleaf's about travelling through time and fighting time-bending man. Okay. Check it out at the Secret Games. Join now. So I want some real crime from you, something a bit more realistic.
You want me to write a traditional detective story where there's a crime, a mystery, and a detective who has to solve it, and it's all normal and there's no space travel or monsters?
Yes.
That sounds really boring.
Yeah, no gorillas.
No. All right. I mean, the most traditional crime story.
Not that traditional.
The Murders in the Rue
That's too traditional.
Right, is about a gorilla shoving someone up a chimney and then probably being shot into space, right? I mean, surely. So you're saying I can't have a gorilla, did it?
Yeah, no.
Because I've already done that in another story on this show.
I think it should be traditional and incredibly boring. Do you think you can manage that?
I can do boring.
Brilliant.
The traditional part might be a bit of a challenge. Mm-hmm. But there's one little problem, right? Maybe a little tiny obstacle for me writing crime fiction, which is that I don't know anything about crime fiction or crime. Yes. I'm being such an honest person. I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about it. Am I going to have to go and research crime? That's going to look bad on my search history when I get arrested. They're like, hello, what have you been researching crime? I'm like, it's for a show I do, honest officer. I was going to call him governor. Honest governor.
You don't need to do that anymore. I've discovered a whole new branch of research. In the past, I would used to go on Google. When I was younger, I used to get out my encyclopedia, which came in 12 tomes, and search through that.
Parts of a crab. Look under P for parts of a crab.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't do any of that anymore. I don't listen to informative radio programs or watch television shows because I don't actually like anything. The only thing I enjoy anymore is listening to the worst writer in the world and us. I just enjoy listening to our stuff.
So you're hoping that we've already recorded something about crime?
We have.
I mean, how likely is that?
It's very likely, and we have.
Brilliant. And what was the concept? Was it just about crime?
It was about how to make money via crime.
Oh, I remember. You mean when you decided to become a criminal? And I said, let's record this conversation for evidence to show that it's not my idea.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I remember that.
I think if we listen to that, you're going to come up with loads of brilliant research, and then you'll be able to write a crime novel like nobody's business.
Okay, so you think it's going to give me ideas?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's have a listen then, shall we?
Yes, please.
All right. So what crimes have you got written down on your list?
Conning.
Conning who?
Yeah, well, I've got knock on doors and say you are the money collector. I don't know whether you need a card to prove it or whatever.
Well, you just write it on a card. That's what Mr. Fluck does, isn't it? He's like, I am the bum inspector. Here's my card. He's just written it.
I did put that in case there weren't any money collectors, I've got bum inspector written down as a backup plan.
But he doesn't make any money out of that because he doesn't charge.
Yeah, but what you do is once they drop their slacks for inspection, you steal their pants.
So... And sell the dirty pants.
You collect enough pants. You've got like a whole load of pants.
And then you become Marks and Spencer.
You start a pant industry.
You start a pant industry, not a company. You start an industry.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny you mention M&S because I've got here. I do have get bought out by M&S or relevant pant competitors.
Competitor. Yeah.
Competitors. Retire.
Okay.
Yeah, so M&S do come into it. They're very important in this.
So you've taken quite a simple idea of knocking on people's doors and saying you're here to collect all their money.
Yeah. All their pants.
Yeah, and you've expanded it out into sexual assault. Right? And then this kind of weird
Intrigue.
corporate power play thing where you're trying to get Marks and Spencer interested in your pant empire.
They love pants, though, don't they?
Yeah, but they've got plenty. They don't need your weird, stolen, dirty pant collection.
Yeah, but that's why.
Marks and Spencer aren't sitting there going, oh, who can give us some pants? They've got all the pants.
Yeah, but they don't like me being a competitor. They don't like the fact that there's a new kid on the block selling these interesting
dirty
pants. Like every pant is different. They're like people are
because you haven't washed them.
They're unique pants. Whereas M&S sold the same style pant.
But the pants you're stealing are probably going to be Marks and Spencer's pants. At least a lot of them, right? Why do you think people are wearing unique pants? Where do you get that idea from? That if you go to a shop and buy pants, they're all the same. But if you take them off people's arses, they've become unique. Like everyone's knitting their own pants. But you, poor Howard, has to go to Marks and Spencer and buy mass-produced pants. You're just going to go to Marks and Spencer.
No.
Let's just say, I've got a load of your pants, but dirty. Do you want them?
I don't know how, but
Actually, maybe that will work because you can return stuff to Marks and Spencer.
I don't know how, but I believe that every pair of pants is unique because when I look in my pant drawer now, there's not one pair the same. I buy them in sets of 3, but there's only one remaining of each, and every single different one is different. Right. And I bet if you took the pants off of like 100 separate men, not ones that are glued together, 100 separate men, and you got them to lay their pants down in a line, or maybe a cube would be better. Not a cube, a square.
A cube of pants, yeah. Because these men are really dirty and their pants don't bend.
Okay, what else have I got? Mugging.
how much can you make from mugging, really?
Oh,
like,
wow.
I never have any money. If someone mugs me, they're going to get my Oyster card with like
Yep.
10 quid on it or something. And that's it.
Well, I've researched mugging because I've thought about it in the past. Not that I'd do it, but I know how to do it.
Yeah, I just researched it just out of interest, not because I was planning to mug people or anything.
Okay.
You're not the scariest person, are you? Isn't this the other thing? If you're going to mug people, you've got. I mean, that's using the threat of violence to get money out of people. And
Yeah.
like, if you mugged me, I don't know if I'd be scared.
Well, I wouldn't be mugging you because you know me. That'd be fucking ridiculous. You're like,
I'm assuming that you're very unambitious. I mean, you were talking about leaving the house. You don't leave the house if you can avoid it. I reckon if you decide to mug people, I'm going to be principal on your list of muggies. It's going to be me, anyone else who comes to visit, and that'll do.
I'm not going to do very well in the police lineup, am I? Do you recognise the person you've known all your life?
Yeah, it was him.
Is it that one, officer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what's your plan?
Okay, now here we go. The art to mugging. I've written the art to mugging is spending quality time down the post office. You get a lot of people, either old people who are easy to get, but that's not necessarily going to be a lot. The real money is there or in banks. It can be banks.
Yeah.
Banks or post offices. Is that
So hang on. Are you talking about mugging banks? Because that's not mugging, all right?
No.
That's just robbery. I mean, that's a different crime. You're like,
if you get to a bank or you get to a post office and you're there for a while and there's a queue, sometimes you'll find a person who comes in with fuckloads of money, and what they are is they're small business owners.
okay.
Who are bringing like the day's money in, or
Right, not
something
the kind of
taken out.
security van, armoured, ink explodey kind of people. but
Usually just
regular.
like some doddery old person or some
Okay.
sort, could be a weak woman character. But they come in and you just need to know where they're coming from, what time of day they do it at, and that kind of thing. So with old people, you can kind of like, you know, if you watch an old person, you know, depositing money, then you just need to know where they live and then know what they're doing. So the next time they come out of the house, find the best place to get them. And if they're a small business, again, you just need to kind of like find the best place in the street to kind of
Get them.
interrupt them.
Right.
Before they.
And what kind of weaponry are you planning to use, or what kind of threats? Because again, I think, you know, if you're just going to go out with someone and say, I'm going to hit you, you're going to get a gun.
I'll use a fake gun, but
Okay.
you know, you just have to hope that they think it's real. And I know.
Yeah,
they
you
can.
don't have to actually shoot them with it, because then you're just going to be standing there shouting, bang, bang, you're dead, aren't you? And going, give me your money, you're dead.
Yeah, you should have given me your money. You're dead now. But if you really did want to mug people, it's easy to pick a target. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it is attacking the weak, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a moral grey area, isn't it? Mugging old ladies.
Burglary. Burglary. Is that how you pronounce it?
But I think let's say it is now, because it's funny. Burglary, yeah.
What is it?
Burglary.
Burglary. Is that not right?
I'm going to go with yes, that's absolutely right. Carry on. Burglary.
Burglary. Burglary.
Yeah, what about it?
Okay, this one's planned out to perfection. Move into an affluent area like Muswell Hill, where I live.
Right.
Appear to be a moral, upstanding citizen for 15 years.
Okay, already done that, yeah.
Get to know your neighbours.
Right.
Have tea with them.
Have you had tea with your neighbours?
Oh, yeah. Know where their alarm system is, or indeed if they really have one, or if it's just a box at the front with a flashing light designed to deter criminals, which it often is and is in this case.
Okay.
Use their toilet. Discover that there's no lock on the toilet window. So then, when they're away on holiday for 2 weeks, and they've asked you to, you know, if they see anything suspicious, let them know or whatever.
Yeah.
Go out the back, climb over the fence, go through their toilet window, rob their house. What will rob them of? Rob their house of their jewels and their antiques. And then a few days later, what you do is like you kick open their front door to make it look like the robbers went in the front, so no one's looking.
And then you call them, because it's your job to call them if anything suspicious happens. And you're like, yeah, something suspicious happened. I kicked open your front door yesterday. When I saw myself do that, I thought something's wrong with this. I thought I'd better call you.
Yeah. There you go, and that's how burglary works.
Could we kidnap dogs?
Yeah,
to make
definitely.
money, right?
I
But
know
no,
whether we can make money out of it.
No, we
can
can.
definitely kidnap dogs.
but like we basically if we start a dog walking business,
Yeah.
right? And people come in the morning, they're like, "Oh, here's my dog.
I
I'm
thought
going
you
to
were
work."
going to say we start a dog war, and before you got to start a dog war.
Well,
walking.
I don't know if that's going to make us money the way you make money out of war is by selling weapons, right? So we're going to have to start a dog war, but first we're
Yeah.
going to have to teach the dogs to use weapons,
Warfare,
and raise their kind of mental capability to understand that not only that weapons exist and that they need to use them, but they have to buy them from somewhere, and to have some kind of economy and ability of making money. We've got a lot of evolution to stimulate before we can
put chips in the dogs, aren't we?
yeah.
To advance them.
Yeah. And I mean, how are we going to afford all those chips
I don't know.
that we're going to feed the dogs?
No.
I think there's more to evolution than feeding dogs chips. Anyway. I think it's more complicated than
Really?
that. Yeah. No, I'm thinking we start a dog walking business, right? People bring us their dogs in the morning, and then when they turn up in the afternoon or whenever they come back to collect their dogs, we're all like, "What dogs? What are you talking about?" And we've taken them somewhere else, so they're not barking.
Does that make it a bit obvious that we stole their dogs?
Yeah, but I mean,
If they actually handed them
there's
to
two
us,
of us.
and then we claim we don't know anything about dogs.
we go a bit sci-fi, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's two of us. I collect them in the morning. I'm like, yeah. And then you answer the door later, and you claim no knowledge of me, and we say maybe they slipped into an alternate universe or
Oh, it
something.
could be like an 80s conspiracy movie as well. We'll change the sign on the top that says dog walking business and
Yeah.
change it to cat walking business.
Yeah,
Something
exactly,
Like that. So
yeah,
on the
yeah.
arrival, that's weird. It was a dog walking business this morning.
Yeah. Okay, so and then you're all there going, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about," and that way they can't call the police on our house, right? But then later I call them and I'm all like, "I've got your dog, all right. If you want your dog back, I want some money," and then they give me money, and it's like a car park, right? Because that's how. Car parks are basically holding your car to ransom, right? That's what they do. You go in, you leave your car there,
Yeah.
and then before you're allowed to leave the car park, you have to pay some money.
Yeah.
That's holding your car to ransom. It's the same, and that's legal. It's the same thing, but with dogs.
But they're
you
paying
give us your
you
dog.
to walk the dog anyway, so you've already got the car park in there, haven't you?
No, they don't walk your car.
No, they don't
What
do
are you
that.
talking about? No, it's they pay me at the beginning to walk the dog. I'll walk the dog, so I'm going to take it to the second house, right? So the dog walking's done. So I'm living up to my contract.
Yeah.
But then in order to collect their dog, to take their dog home again, they've got to pay me like £50,000.
Okay, good.
Or maybe less if they don't like their dog that much. But first we're going to have to work out how much they like their dog. So maybe we'll have a kind of questionnaire when they leave their dog. Like, can you just fill in this questionnaire so I understand more about your dog and how to look after it? And it's like, how much do you like your dog? A lot, not much, hate him kind of thing. How much money would you pay if someone kidnapped your dog? What was the maximum? That's question 2.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a good question.
Okay. We had an idea ages ago about how we could steal people's houses, right? Do you remember?
If they leave the door open, was that
Yeah,
it?
well, while they're getting their shopping out of their car and they've got their door open and they're like getting, and people always try and carry too much. They always want to carry as much as possible, so they spend ages picking it all up, right?
Yeah.
And while their door's open, you run in and shut it, and then you've got their house.
Yeah.
And then when they ring the doorbell, you open it and say, "Not today, thank you," and then close it, and then you live there.
Yeah.
All right. And if we do that and then sell it, we can make a fortune.
That's true.
All we've got to do is like every few weeks you find a new house to steal, and maybe we could do it with office blocks as well, like massive, great. We'll do it with the Shard.
Yeah, do it with the
Just
Queen.
If, leave the Queen open.
the
We
Queen's-
rush into the Queen and say, like, "No, we live here now." We say, and then we sell the Queen. Yeah.
I was just thinking if she left Buckingham Palace's gates open while she's bringing her shopping in from Aldi. Arson. Put your arse on money. Clench, stand, walk away. Arson.
When you said the way you said "our son," I was like, "We haven't got a son."
Actual arson. Burn down the bank
Yeah,
apart from the money.
that's a good idea. 'Cause
Discuss.
Then you've just got a load of money sitting there with the ashes of a bank around it, and you just like walk in and pick it up, right?
Do you think how would you be able to do that?
You'd need fireproof money, right? So I guess you've got to I suppose what you've got to do is you've got to plan ahead, right? And every bit of money that you get, you've got to fireproof it, right?
Your entire life.
Yeah, and you've got to do that so much that you know that all money is fireproof, right? And therefore, all the money in the bank is fireproof, and therefore, when you burn down the bank, the money will be fine.
Yeah, okay, I suppose you could just steal the coins.
That's true. Some money is already fireproof. Isn't it? Yeah.
Mind you, it's probably in metal cages or metal safes, which are probably made from metal as well. We need fire that burns down metal, but not paper.
Right, is that a thing? Fire that burns down metal, but not paper?
No, it's not.
We need to invent that. If we can invent that, we'll be set.
Yeah.
And like burns down like metal and like mortar and but not people, because we don't want to kill people.
No.
And not paper.
Yeah.
So there'll just be a load of like naked bank tellers. All their paperwork will be fine, but they're standing there like feeling quite embarrassed, so they're not going to try and stop us because they're like trying to cover themselves and stuff. So we walk in, get the money, leave.
Telemarketing. Phone enough people until you get through to an idiot. Tell them they've had a car crash and get them to give you money to mend them. That's my understanding of those phone calls. I always hang up after they've said, like, we understand you're in a car crash. I've never got any further. But
you assume that they're going to ask you to give them money to mend you.
Well, I know they get money off you somehow, so I don't know what else they'd want it for, you know.
Mending.
Someone rings you up and says you've had a car crash.
Yeah. Do they say that? When they ring you, they don't even ask you anymore. They just say, "Hello, is that Howard? You've had a car crash."
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, I'm not in a car."
You know, your knee fell off. We can fix it. Give us £1.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a good price.
Well, it is.
I would give them £1.
I know, but I haven't had a car crash.
Yeah, but just to see what they then do. I'd be like, here's £1. Now put my knee back on. My knee that I've already got.
That's how they get you see, because they offer you such good rates.
They get £1 and then they run off with your
kneecap
£1.
replacement for only £1. You think, well, that's good. But you paid them and then you suddenly, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't got a car. Or a crash.
And I've got 2 knees.
Yeah.
All right, so you know those people that do free hugs? You know those people who like stand there going free hugs and stuff, right?
Yeah.
We do that. But while we're giving the hug, we're stealing people's wallets.
Good, yeah.
Right?
Pickpocketing.
Yeah, because they're going to be off guard. They're all like, oh, isn't this a nice moment?
Yeah.
And we get some photographers around because there always seem to be photographers, and they're like, oh, yeah, you're going to be in the newspaper and stuff. Oh. Meanwhile, you're stealing their wallet, right? And their shoes and pants.
Yeah.
Because going back to your original pants.
Yeah, pant. Start the pant industry.
Get another pair of pants to add to your pile. Yeah. Your weird pile in the garden that you think you're going to sell to us. Massive mountain of pants.
Yeah, got 4 pairs so far. Grave robbing.
Oh no.
Grave robbing, yeah.
You know grave robbing doesn't involve digging up dead bodies and then stealing their money, right? Or getting their gold out. Is that what this one
What? What are you talking about?
No, I mean, it was selling the... You know, grave robbers sold the bodies to...
I'm utilising a corpse.
To Victor Frankenstein, I think. That's how
all
it
of them?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only reason. Who else needs dead bodies?
All grave robbers used to steal the bodies and sell them to a fictitious character.
Yeah, that's why it didn't last. Yeah. That's why people don't do it anymore, because they sussed it out.
They seem wised up to the fact that there was no Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose you could sell the corpses to a meat factory.
I think probably they do all right for meat. I think meat factories probably already have a fairly cost-efficient way of getting meat that doesn't involve digging up dead humans.
That's right, yeah. And also, like, there's no meat on a skeleton, is there?
It's true. If you make a point of only digging up people that have been dead for 50 years and then going, where's all the meat? No, I've got a better idea about grave robbing, which is like, let's not do it.
Oh, okay.
What do you reckon?
Well, coffins are quite expensive, so maybe you take the coffin, leave the corpse.
Maybe that's what
probably is what they do. Yeah.
What undertakers do. Or in magicians, right?
Yeah.
Like good at sleight of hand, right? Yeah. And you know how priests often have big sleeves. Right?
Yeah.
So if you combine those two jobs, magician and priest, then they can do a bit of sleight of hand, and just before they start filling in the hole, they slip the coffin up their sleeve, right? Leave the body in the ground, and then as they go, they just take the coffin with them, and then the grave digger fills up the hole, and no one ever knows.
No digging involved.
It's almost like, in fact, why do priests have such big sleeves?
Yeah.
Maybe they've been doing this for years. All right, so burglary, right? Right, burglary is difficult because of like locked doors and windows.
What's burglary?
Sorry, burglary.
Okay, right.
It's difficult because of locked doors and windows, right? And I'm thinking like a good thing to burgle is like an office.
Oh, okay.
Right, and they have loads of windows, but they're all locked or hermetically sealed.
All windows.
Some of them are 100% window, right? So what we do is we get a job as the people who put the windows in.
Yeah.
And we put in imaginary windows. Because they're so clean, you can't tell some of the time. And we just like, oh yeah, there's a window there. And maybe if they're doubtful, we use the Emperor's New Clothes tactic, and we like, some stupid people, like they're so clean that they look like they're not there. And like some really stupid, unimaginative people think there's no window there. But I mean, that's just, and some people walk into it if they're really stupid. But
you could be on the inside selling it like that.
Yeah.
I could be on the outside pretending to be a window cleaner and pretending to clean.
Yeah,
it.
totally. And then you switch your clothes and pretend to be an idiot who works there, and you walk into it and then fall over.
Yes.
And I'm like, there you go. You see, some very stupid. You want to sack him? He's a stupid person. Yeah. Only very, very clever people understand that these are super clean, amazing, non-reflective windows. Yeah. And then we come back at night and nick all their computers.
Brilliant.
And like you said, some buildings are entirely window. So then we could like say there's a building somewhere that there isn't, and rent it out.
Yeah, just a lot of floating computers. It's a 10-story building.
Absolutely. Also, we make sure we don't rent out the ground floor. We just put a big bag there.
Yeah.
Right?
What? Okay.
Big bag. Yeah. And then when all the computers fall, we just take the bag.
Yeah.
And then we've got a load of computers.
This is a brilliant plan.
All right, so we could dress up as monkeys.
Oh, good. Right? I like this already.
Yeah. And
this plan's done as far as I'm concerned.
No, there's more to it because that doesn't make us any money. That's fun, but there's no money yet. So we go and live in the safari park.
Yep.
Steal people's windscreen wipers like monkeys do. But the thing where monkeys go wrong.
Start up a windscreen wiper industry.
Yeah, well, sell them at the exit to people that need
them
windscreen wipers because the monkeys have stolen them, and we're like, oh yeah, the monkeys have gone. There's nothing we can do. We can't go in there. It's a safari park. We can't just go in and start playing with the monkeys.
That's right. We could like dress up as bigger things like apes, gorillas, and steal their children and sell them at the exit.
Oh, did the apes steal your children? Well, there's nothing we can do, but we've got some spare children here.
Yeah. See one that looks like yours?
Yeah. What colour do you want? We've got a child making machine, we'll pretend, and then we'll take like details. Have you got any pictures? Put it into the machine, and then a door opens and your kid walks out. We put all his memories in as well. Yeah. He thinks he was kidnapped by someone dressed as a gorilla. Right? That's to link up with all the memories. We put that fake memory in. Penguin cannons. Right? I was thinking penguins are like the perfect shape for like shooting out of cannons, right? Because they're like, well, particularly in cartoons, but I think in reality as well a bit. They're like got big bums, right? And they've got pointy beaks.
Yeah.
So you shoot penguins out of cannons, and but first you've got to steal them from the zoo.
Okay.
Right? They've got them in. So you go in. Yeah, you got to go to London Zoo with like a sports bag that's about penguin sized, and then you just grab one, put it in your sports bag, leave, and you do that with a bunch of them, and then you've got a penguin cannon.
What do you mean, then you've got a penguin cannon?
Then
you've got a load of penguins.
You've got a penguin in a bag. Yeah. All right, but then you put it in a cannon and shoot it out, and then you've got a penguin cannon, right?
Okay, that's true.
Yeah. And then you get... I didn't quite work out how to make money from it.
Okay.
But I'm just thinking, like, what you do is you get a load of people who like penguins, and they pay you not to. The first time they see you, basically slaughter a penguin by shooting it out of a cannon.
You could find people that don't like penguins as well who want to pay you to do it. And
bidding war.
Then you have a bidding war, and
whoever pays you the most, you do what they want.
Yeah.
You do or don't shoot penguins out of a cannon.
Good. Vandalism. Glue a dog shut. That's all I got.
How does that make us money? I mean, vandalism doesn't make you money anyway. That's wanton destruction.
Yeah.
And it's usually of property. It's not vandalism. Isn't gluing dogs shut. That's abuse. That's animal That's animal abuse. And that doesn't make you money either, generally.
Okay,
Unless you do it on a massive scale. Like, if you just
glue
abuse...
all the dog shit.
Yeah, if you just if you just abuse one chicken,
Yeah.
you're not making any money, right? But if you put thousands of them in tiny cages and get their eggs out, then you can make a fortune.
Okay.
So what you've got to do, you've got to glue all the dogs shut, yeah. And then, I don't know, there's got to be a second part to this plan. That's not enough. Like, putting loads of chickens in cages doesn't make you money. It just costs a lot of money to buy chickens in cages. It's when it's the egg part that makes the money.
Okay, so we've glued all the dogs shut.
Yeah. Now what?
Unglue them? I don't know.
It's just ransom again, isn't it? It's just like we'll unglue your dog if you give us a £5. Maybe we can do it. Like, maybe we can get people to pay us to. Maybe we can get like people who hate the noise of dogs.
Yeah.
Get them to pay us to glue all the dogs shut.
I wasn't thinking their mouths. I meant gluing them shut, like gluing the side of them and then folding them round. Is that weird? In my head.
I don't know what that means. What the fuck?
We know a dog like
gluing the side of them and then folding
we
them
know
round.
like a dog is long rather than tall.
That's not
it goes
shut.
sideways, right?
So you want
a
to
dog
glue
goes sideways.
You want to glue a dog to itself.
Yeah, you fold the dog round.
You want to fold dogs. Your
Yeah.
idea is folding dogs with glue involved.
Yeah.
You're a dog folder.
So that they're touching their own bum basically. They'll
Okay.
go around, they're like a dog donut.
So it's like the human centipede, but with one dog.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would solve the problem of dogs barking and dog poo.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to poo in their own mouths.
Oh right, yeah. I wasn't intending to actually. Okay, we can glue their own mouth to their bums if you like.
Yeah, it's a dog centipede, but with one dog.
A human dog.
Or
Dog
you could
centipede.
you could glue all dogs into one long centipede. So like the long like all the dogs glued together, and then when you've got all the dogs, you glue the first one to the last
Yeah.
one, and then you've just got a massive ring of glued up dogs.
Yeah.
And the whole problem of feeding them, no one has to feed them anymore because
Yeah.
they're all feeding each other, and like dog poo in the park, no more dog poo in the
No
park. It's all going into
The
dogs.
whole problem of dogs not being glued to other dogs, that one's gone.
Yeah. Walking them, you know how to walk them because how could you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sideways, presumably.
And it would be like a dog wall that would separate the world, like
Right,
a corner,
yeah.
like so, like
I still don't see how it's going to make us any money.
what building a big wall of dogs. Carjacking.
Carjacking.
Carjacking. What I would thought carjacking was when you kind of like go up and like smash the window or open the door and like nick their jewels. And I figured out a good way of doing it was you remember those annoying window washers
Yes.
that hung around traffic lights that were all the rage like about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know where they've gone.
Or maybe they all died.
Yeah, that's possible.
Did it
It's probably
got cold?
dangerous thing.
Maybe it only lasted like one summer and then they all died in winter, like wasps.
I also meant like they got run over
Yeah, also, yes, that's also
because they
possible.
were standing around by traffic lights
Yeah.
in the middle of the road. It's probably a bad place to be, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
probably a terrible idea because I was saying hang around the traffic lights by Buckingham Palace. Because
Okay.
then like you could smash the limo window, rip the jewels off the Queen's head, and then like
Right, right. So you want to rob the Queen?
Yeah.
Yes, and you want to hang around
With a
outside
squidgy.
Buckingham Palace,
With
where
a
there's
with a squidgy.
no police or guards or anything like that.
Not by the traffic lights there aren't. Yeah, so I'll stand there with me bucket
Yeah.
and my gun.
yeah, waving at the police. Yeah.
She's ban off something on her. She'll have her handbag. Get her handbag.
Isn't it decorative? Isn't there a thing about the Queen not?
Her
Yeah.
handbag is decorative.
I mean, there's nothing in it.
Don't fucking matter, does it? I mean, like if I've got the Queen's handbag, that's worth something anyway because it belonged to the Queen. I can
Okay.
sell it on eBay.
Well, if you're going to do that, couldn't we just buy a handbag and claim it's the Queen's handbag?
That's
And
not
then
carjacking, though, is it?
No, but it's a new idea. Could we not buy 100 handbags from Marks and Spencer and then sell them as the Queen's handbag?
But in order to pull this off, I mean, I like the idea of selling lots and lots of handbags and saying they belong to the Queen.
Yeah.
But first of all, the people need to know that someone's nicked the Queen's handbag.
Yeah.
So I think what we should do is we should incorporate your idea into my idea.
Okay, so you
Steal the
steal the
Queen's
handbag.
handbag and then sell 100 handbags.
Okay.
And say they're that one, and everyone thinks they're buying the stolen Queen handbag.
Yeah, but they're not, and they've got to keep it quiet.
Exactly. No one's going to be stupid enough if they've stolen the Queen's handbag to post about it on the internet.
Yeah. Just write someone's handbag.
Yeah.
Like someone famous's handbag, but I can't say who. And then have a picture of one and you've drawn a crown on it.
Yeah.
No, do it like write I heart Prince Philip, like it's a pencil case.
It doesn't matter, does it? I mean, if I sell it on eBay, I don't have to put my address.
Yeah.
And so it'll be untraceable, so I can sell it. It's fine.
Okay.
I'll just say this is the Queen's handbag. I'll take a video of myself punching her. and stealing it. But then it sees the real handbag. Then I'll use kind of like editing equipment to editing this other handbag.
Well, couldn't you just have the other handbag, right? I'll be your accomplice.
Yeah.
And you steal a handbag, throw it to me, and I'll leg it, right? Yeah. Meanwhile, you've got the fake handbag. You're holding it while punching her. It looks like you've just taken the handbag. And then everyone's like, looks at the video. They're all like, wow, look, that is the handbag. I can even see I Heart Prince Philip written on it.
Okay, yeah, so what I do is don't even steal her handbag. Just punch her. And
while holding a handbag.
Yeah.
True. And then it'll be on the news. It'll be like, look, here's the Queen being punched by a man holding a handbag.
That's true. Yeah.
And you're online going, actually, I stole that handbag. That was the Queen's handbag.
Oh yeah, they're not going to be reporting on a stolen handbag if I don't steal her handbag.
But you've got the video of you, and you're saying, oh, by the way, I also stole her handbag while I was punching her. You may have seen in the news today that the Queen got punched. Well, what they didn't tell you is that I was stealing a handbag. Who wants to buy it? £100,000. I've got 100. In fact, if you could be holding 100 handbags. Then you wouldn't have to hide the fact that you got 100. You're just like, the Queen came out of the palace today holding 100 of her favourite handbags, and now I've got them. Who wants to buy one? 100,000 each. Brilliant.
Maybe I'll just break into a house and punch her in her wardrobe. Because she's probably got loads of handbags there.
Punch her in her wardrobe. It doesn't hurt if you punch a wardrobe. You want to punch her in her face or something.
She's going to have a walk-in wardrobe. She's going to be stood in it. I'm going to be punching her against a backdrop of handbags.
This seems like almost like you're more interested in punching the Queen than actually achieving anything. I don't see why you need to be doing.
That is on my list of crimes.
Yeah. You want to get on the news. You're not going to get on the news if you go into her house and punch her in the wardrobe.
Dress you up as the Queen, sneak you in, you take me inside, I punch you in her wardrobe.
No one knows what the Queen's wardrobe like. We just do it in my wardrobe.
That's pretty alright.
Alright, we'll do that later. I'll dress up as the Queen, we'll get in my wardrobe. I mean, it's a regular wardrobe, it's not a walk-in thing. But
You've got no handbags in it, have you?
We've got to buy the handbags we're going to sell.
Yeah.
So we'll buy the handbags, put them all in my wardrobe, I'll get in there, you come in, punch me a few times. I'll go, flipping heck, I'm the Queen! Right? And then we'll put the video on
This
YouTube.
is not going to make the news, is it?
It might do. Two idiots punching each other in a wardrobe, and then we'll sell the handbags.
All right.
From not the Queen's fat handbags, but the handbags from that famous punching an idiot in a wardrobe video off the internet.
Okay, cyberbullying. This was on the list. Cyberbullying. Bully a Cyberman. Make him give you his pocket gold. Or his lunch gold if you're in the playground.
I thought they hated gold, don't they?
Yeah, no.
Why have they suddenly got gold? Because you didn't have a punchline to that idea. You suddenly Cybermen carry gold around.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.
Well, Howard, I did enjoy listening to us in the past talk about crimes. But that was 100% completely useless. I mean, what am I gonna do now? Write about burglary? That's not very interesting. But isn't most crime fiction about murder because all other crimes are kind of boring?
Yeah, so my research...
so is murder.
My research was to let you know what you shouldn't do. And what you should do is a plain, old-fashioned murder mystery.
Murder mystery.
Not Gret Benchleaf, not going to space, not time-travelling, just a good old detective solving a crime maybe in a locked room with no gorillas.
With a gorilla.
No gorillas.
Okay.
Zero gorilla content.
All right, well, I will do that, and
Yeah?
I'll have a go. No, I think I can't do it, but I'll have a go, and we'll listen to it next week and see how I succeeded or failed. Probably failed.
Brilliant. Join us next week with the case of the massive gorilla killing a person and shoving him up the chimney by Rufus.
Hang on, just write the title down. Okay, got it. Brilliant. All right, first line written.
Oh,
okay. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you can't wait a week to hear other stuff written by me, then you can get loads of it by joining the secret gang at patreon.com/manbycow, where there's loads of Gret Benchleaf chapters written by me and other stuff written by me, and little bonus for you, also a load load more stuff written by Howard that is not available on this show, even though this show's got loads of stuff written by Howard, hasn't it? But you could get more. If this isn't enough, you could get more right now.
Is it possible that I've written any more? It seems like it's an impossible task. It's like
seem like
going on an Audible and going, hold on a second, where did Stephen Fry find the time to record all of these and do anything else?
All the books in the world. How did he do that?
Yeah, and so how did Howard find the time to write all the books in the world? We'll never know.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye bye, milk.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.